Hey there, and thanks for joining me for this session. In this session, I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I think real estate agents make the best real estate investors. That's right, I said it. 7 reasons why real estate agents make the best real estate investors, presented by the Vacant Home Guy. Who am I? I'm Emil Belvin. I'm a real estate broker and investor here in Los Angeles. Here we go. 7 reasons why. Number 1, you already speak real estate. You already do real estate. You already speak real estate, so you're not learning something new. You're not learning about a restaurant business or a babysitting business or a dog walking business. You already do real estate. You understand what a buyer's looking for. You understand what a seller's looking for. You know how to get a property sold. You know how to write offers. You've been through, I don't know how many, 5, 10, 50, 100 transactions, 1,000 transactions. Each one of those transactions that you've done has given you insight and made you a knowledgeable professional in real estate. You're keeping your finger on the pulse of real estate. If you're doing it full-time, you definitely got your finger on the pulse. If you're doing it part-time, you're even keeping an eye and a finger on the pulse, even if you're doing it part-time. So my point is, because you already speak and know real estate, that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, you prospect pretty much the same. How do you get clients now in regard to real estate? How are you going about marketing? You door knocking? Well, you need to door knock if you're an investor. Are you sending out postcards? You need to send out postcards if you're an investor. It's just a matter of doing things slightly different, but the prospecting is the same. The nerve that it takes to go and door knock in a neighborhood is the same nerve you need as an investor to go knock on a door and get a seller to work with you directly. So those are things that you do almost the same. You have to fish where the fish are. How do you get business now as a real estate agent? It's going to be very similar to how you get business as a real estate investor. You also have to build your network. And maybe you got loan officers or attorneys or financial people that refer you business. It works the same way, except now you're speaking from an investment standpoint versus just from a real estate, I want to buy or sell your home standpoint. Number 3, you run the numbers, you run the comps pretty much the same. There's no big difference in regard to how you go about running your comps. The only difference is, of course, when you're looking from an investor standpoint, is you're looking at trying to get a spread on your numbers, your margin. You want to buy low and sell high, right? So how do you do that? You want to look for the dog on the block. You're looking for the property that needs the work. And if you come across a property in a neighborhood that, let's say, is selling for $500,000, then how much are you going to give or write an offer for on that property so that it meets your spread? Nonetheless, you know how to comp properties. Why? Because you comp properties all day when you're trying to get a listing. You're telling the seller how much you think their property will sell for. Well, we have to just look at it from both perspectives as an investor. We have to look at it, if we buy the dog on the block and I'm coming in as an investor, what am I going to pay for that property? Or if I'm listing that property, for instance, what am I going to tell the seller that I'm going to sell it for once it's fixed up? And in between. So we have to know how to comp our numbers. You already know that. Why? Because you're a real estate agent. And I can ask any real estate agent worth their grain of salt to give me a CMA, and they'll get back to me with what they think the property is worth, like that. So that's reason number 3. You know how to run numbers. Number 4, you have to shift your thinking. This is the biggest piece of the puzzle that has to happen to go from being a real estate agent or realtor, broker, to being a real estate investor. To go from being a real estate agent or realtor, you have to kind of shift your thinking. I even got some goofy glasses for that example. Because as a realtor, we're thinking about commission. But we have to stop always thinking about commission and start thinking about net proceeds. So commission, yes, that's important. We want to make commission, we want to earn commission, but we also have to look at our net proceeds and start looking at deals as an investor as well. And then we say, okay, which one of these is going to yield me the biggest return on my investment? Now, yes, it's a goofy example. I made it goofy on purpose. We want to look at being a realtor. What's that commission look like? But we also want to look at being an investor. And what does that look like? I'll give you an example. I went to a listing appointment, had a client call me. She was a referral. She called me and she said, hey, I'm looking to sell my duplex. And I said, okay, great. What's the neighborhood? I knew the neighborhood was this okay area. So then when I showed up to that appointment, I had a purchase contract in my bag and I had a listing contract in my bag as well. So I had 2 contracts in my bag ready to go. Because I'm always looking to purchase a property and invest in property. She called me because she's interested in selling a property. there's no reason she can't sell it to me, especially if I'm in the market to buy it and I'm giving her the offer that she's looking for. So that's the thing. Like when you get the call, you don't want to just think commission, commission, commission all the time. You have to start to shift your thinking. Now, it didn't turn out to where the numbers worked because she wanted more than what I was willing to offer. But as I heard her conversation, I didn't even bring my purchase contract out of my bag. I left that in my bag and went ahead and took the listing. So nonetheless, you have to think of it through two lenses. And this is the biggest thing that changes in regard to being a real estate agent and being an investor. You have to shift your thinking from just looking at commission, double in the deal, or whatever the case may be. Now, that is reason number 4. You have to shift your thinking. Number 5, you don't get paid until the deal closes. Anybody out there ever did a deal and got their commission before the deal was done? If so, I want to attend your presentation. I want to hear how you did that. How did you earn a commission? I'm not talking about the payday advance that you got to pay back. I'm talking about you actually earned a commission. You got paid some money and the deal didn't close at all. You got paid 50% of your commission or 100% of your commission. You got my attention. Please invite me to your presentation. Email me, do what you can on this YouTube video to make me get in touch, because I want to hear how you did that. Because the deals that I've worked on, I haven't gotten paid unless the deal's closed. Because you're on commission, right? I mean, that's my understanding. Unless somebody knows something different, enlighten me. But you don't get paid until the deal closes. That's not rocket science, I'm sure. And again, today's presentation isn't anything that's profound and mind-blowing. I didn't come up with the cure for cancer or, learn how to put people on Mars, or we're drinking potion water that's going to help us live to be 300 years old. I'm giving you information, simply put, that's going to help shift your thinking from being a real estate agent focused on commission to being an investor and looking at things through both lenses, which is very important. Number 6, your clients will bring you deals. I just gave you an example of a listing appointment that I went out on. The phone rang, I went out on a listing appointment, but I had my purchase contract with me. The client brought me a deal. The question is, are my numbers aligned with what she has in mind? Which they weren't. But there are deals that have hit my desk, and this is where my light bulb moment went off. 8 years into being a real estate agent, it took me 8 years to figure this out. I mean, I didn't have a mentor or somebody, there wasn't a YouTube video that, struck me or anything like that. I had to experience it. I got my license in 2007, so I've been in the business for a little while now. But nonetheless, it took me 8 years before the light bulb moment went off. And I said, wow, I need to start thinking more like an investor instead of focusing on commission and double ending deals and putting my signs in yards. Because it's much more, I'm pretty good at math. I'm a solid B plus A minus student in any math, pre-calculus on down, so I do math pretty well. But my point is, I rather count, it's easier for me to count in bigger increments, whether that's 50,000, 100,000, or 200,000. I don't mind making 10 or 20 grand on a commission, which is outstanding, and you should still do that. I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm telling you is that once you start doing more of these, you're probably going to start doing less of those, or teaming up with somebody to do more of those transactions for you while you focus on the bigger fish. So I think I'm on number 6. So number 6 was your clients will bring you deals. Number 7, your flip is the sell. Once the property's renovated and looking good and pretty and pristine, how hard is it for you to sell a property? Are you going to run into issues with that, especially if it's priced well? No, those are the dream deals. Those are the dream listings that we get. Absolutely, we want to go ahead and take advantage of that particular transaction because, wow, this is going to be pretty easy for us. Versus a property that's a fixer-upper and we kind of got to convince the buyer, if you do an ADU on the back, or if you, do an addition, or if you blow this out, or once it's painted, or once this is done, it's to sell for so much. No, the turnkey properties are the easiest ones to sell, and those are the ones that you're going to list as an investor, especially going in and flipping properties. And a lot of the presentations that I talk about, when I talk about being an investor, I talk about it from specifically being a flipper or buy and hold for rental purposes. So when I'm talking about investments, that's what I'm talking about. So those are 7 reasons why I think real estate agents make the best real estate investors. If that caught your attention, if that makes sense to you, by all means, I want you to check out our training, our TVHG training. I would send me an email to thevacanthomiguy@gmail.com. Let me know you're interested. I will send you a link to our training. I think it's about 30 bucks for the training. It's a 1-hour video in which I give you a lot more meat and potatoes on what it is that we're talking about here. I'll give you a breakdown of what we're going to talk about in a promo video, and then you can sign up for the training. Again, it's about 30 bucks right now. One of the most well spent, well worth it $30 that you're going to spend this year, this decade. Because I mean, this information again is information that I'm condensing over my years. I got in the business, the real estate business, in 2007. I became an investor in 2016. So I'm condensing all my experience from each transaction that I've gone through to share with you in the TVHG training. You're going to get a blast out of it. So again, send me an email, get in touch with me. That's thevacanthomeguy@gmail.com. My phone number, 310-670-3002. That's directly to my office. I look forward to hearing from you. Like this video. Check out our other videos and links. Be a part of the TVHG network. We look forward to hearing from you, working with you, and doing some deals. Talk to you soon. I'm Emil Belvin. I'm a realtor and investor here in Los Angeles. We'll be in touch.